So I need to get this video done by a certain time so I can finish a discussion post that's due today. So I'm not gonna rush through this video, but your girl is a college student and I can balance both being a content creator and college student. But let's just get into this video. So I'm gonna show you all the books that I have read in the month of January. Will I go in order on like when I read them, when I finished them? Probably no. Probably I'm gonna go in the order of this stack, but this is the books. These are the books that I have read. So I'm gonna like show the spine of the book so you can like see, but these are the books that I have read, and I'm just gonna go from the top down to the bottom. So like I said, some of these books I have actually read twice, meaning I have read it either in 2022, 2023, or 2021. So that's like when in maybe 2020 I actually started reading self-help books back in high school, and I would say I started reading like fiction books late last year. So yeah, if you don't follow me on Instagram, you should. I have a highlight that said like books, and you can like see all the books that I have read. So yeah, but this is the first book that I have read. It is called The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. So I have read this book before, probably late 2022, and I really like it. This is like a promise to yourself. It's a small book, as you can see. It's not really big. So if you are new to reading and you don't like reading and you want to get into self-help, self-development, read this book. It's a little book. It has like, what, how many pages? 140 pages, so less than 200 pages. And like I said, this book will really have you reflect on your life. I really like it. On Goodreads, I gave it a 5 out of 5 because I liked it when I first started reading it, and the second round I did like it again. I feel like with self-help books, no matter how many times you read them, you can learn something new. And with the other 2 self-help books that I have read as well in my pile, I have learned something new that I probably haven't learned the first time I read them. So this book is a good book if you want to get into self-help, self-development. So I'm gonna like tell you one of the chapter titles, but it's called The 4 Agreements. So I'm going to the like content, but the first chapter is called Domestication and the Dream of the Planet. The second chapter is The First Agreement, which is all about being inseparable with your words. So meaning, how can you use your words in a good way? The second agreement is don't take anything personally, which this one, I feel like the second agreement, which is chapter number 3, everyone should read. I think I highlighted some things in that chapter as well, now that I think about it. So like on page 48, so I don't know if you can like see that, but like I like highlighted some things. But on page 48, one of the things that I highlight is you take it personally because you agree with whatever was said. As soon as you agree with not with, but as soon as you agree, the poison goes through you and you are trapped in the dream of hell. So like that is one of like the quotes of the books. And also I just like highlighted this like phrase, but before it, like in a full sentence, is what causes you to be trapped is what we call personal importance. And basically personal importance is taking things personally to a maximum expression of selfishness. And then another thing that I highlighted in this book is nothing other people do is because of you, it's because of themselves. And like that last quote I just read out loud, it's so true. I feel like the last year, especially since I have started therapy late last year, that right there, nothing other people do is because of you, it's because of themselves, is how people can reflect themselves on you no matter what you said to them or no matter what you did to them. So like the reason why I like love reading self-help books is because you can like take things from it and apply it to yourself and to your life, and it really makes you like think like, yeah, this is true. So if you're looking for a small read, especially if you are a beginner reader, I definitely recommend the 4 Agreements. But I'm gonna like let you know what the other chapters are. So that was chapter 3, which was the 2nd agreement. So chapter 4 is the 3rd agreement, which is don't make assumptions. And I feel like with that, I also feel like I highlighted something in that, I think. Like, yeah, I did. So I definitely highlighted some things in the 4th chapter, 3rd agreement. So I don't know if you can see it, but I'm gonna like read the highlight. So like I said, the 4th agreement, the 3rd agreement, which is the 4th chapter. I don't know why I feel like the agreement should be the chapters, but it's not. It's, yeah. So the 4th chapter, which is all about the 3rd agreement, which is all about don't make assumptions. What I highlighted, especially on this first page where the chapter started, is the problem with making assumptions is what we believe they are the truth. We could swear they're real, and this is so true. And I feel like with also making assumptions, we also overthink, and when we overthink things, we also feel like they're going to happen and they're going to be true, when in fact they're not going to be true, and it's not going to happen. It's not truth, it's the false. And I don't know why I repeated like that twice, but like I said, I really love this book. So I don't think, yeah, I do. I got like 1, I'm trying to see how many. So the next highlighted thing out of this book is the big minute in the human mind creates a lot of chaos, which cause us to misinterpret everything and misunderstand everything. So basically meaning what we say, so assume things can be true. And talking about that, before I get into what the last chapter is in the next book, so before I get into the last 3 chapters, so you can like know what each chapter is about, I feel like, as a content creator, and we do videos, because I'm not gonna lie, I have done videos like assumptions about me. People really can make assumptions about you based on what they see online. And just being a content creator, no matter what platforms you use and go on and become popular on, people always make assumptions about you because that's how they view you, but it's not how you view yourself. But if you just really take those assumptions and believe that's how you are, then maybe your assumptions will actually come true, and you do not want that to happen. So just don't believe in the assumptions that people say, and do not tell yourself assumptions as well, because soon they're going to come true. Now, chapter number 5, which is the 4th agreement, is always do your best. This is so true. No matter how many bad days you have, or how many bad weeks you have in a month, like it's the first of a new month, it is February 1st, always do your best, because at the end of the day, it's you against you, and you just have to make yourself proud. Number 6, so the 6th chapter, is the Toltec path of freedom, so breaking old agreements. And then chapter 7 is the new dream, so heaven on earth. So if you want to start reading self-help books, this book is for you. And I'm going to read what it says on the back. So it says, in the four agreements, Don Miguel Ruiz reveals the source of self-limiting beliefs that robs us of joy and create needless suffering. Based on ancient Toltec wisdom, the 4 agreements offering powerful codes of conduct that can rapidly transform our lives into a new experience of freedom, true happiness, and love. So if you haven't read this book, add this to your TBR. If you have read this book but you want to read it again, add it to your TBR list. And yeah, but it's a good book. But let's just get into the second book, Besties. Now, I got like my contacts. Okay, Besties. Now, Besties, this is the second book. I actually read this book beginning of this year. I actually finished it beginning of this year. I was like halfway done, so I added to this list, but I read it late last year. But I think I did, yeah, like almost a couple of weeks, like the week after Christmas or the week of Christmas, I started reading this book. So yeah, but if you're on Book Talk, then you know what this book is. But this is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and let me tell you, I am in love with this series so far. I also actually read the second book, which is also in my pile, which I'm going to tell y'all about next. And I'm going to start reading the second book, the third book probably tonight or tomorrow. But let's just get into what this whole book is about. So first of all, I give this book a 5.5. No, 5 out of 5 rating. Not 5.5, but a 5 out of 5 rating on Goodreads. And if you love murder mysteries, this book is for you. I have had a lot of gasp while reading this book, okay? Like a lot of freaking gasp, and closing this book, like just putting my bookmark in and just closing it, because of the things I have read in this book has like, I'm just like you know, I don't want to read no more. Like that was me, but it really gave me a lot of gasp. It gave me a lot of shock. And like I said, if you love murder mysteries, this book is for you. And like I said, this is popular within the Book Talk, Bookstagram community, book girly community. So it's a good book. And if y'all didn't know, I actually love murder mysteries. I used to like watch a lot of murder mysteries growing up, and sometimes if I'm bored, I like go like on HBO Max or Hulu or Netflix and watch one. Like I'm gonna like let y'all know, I'm the type of person who will watch like the serial killer like shows, like the Jeffrey Dahmer shows, and watch it all the way. No matter how many times I'm gonna pause it and stuff, like I will watch it from the first episode to the last episode. Like that's what I did with the Jeffrey Dahmer show, because I just love like, you know, true crime stuff. So this book is basically about 2 high school students. They were dating at one point, and the guy felt some type of jealousy They don't really know his motive, but they think it's jealousy of his girlfriend because, you know, she used to, like, you know, talk and, you know, here and there, but a lot of people didn't really like her, it seems like. And she was found dead, and they pinned the death on the boyfriend, but they couldn't find him because they think, you know, he was running away because he, you know, didn't want to get caught, you know, from, like, you know, he just killed his girlfriend. But at the end, he killed himself. So yeah, so basically I'm gonna tell you like what it says on the back. So this is a story of an investigation turned obsession. Pretty and popular high school senior Andy Bell was murdered by her boyfriend Sal Singh, who then killed himself. It was all anyone could talk about, and 5 years later Pip sees how the tragedy still haunts her own town. Now a senior herself, Pip decides to re-examine the cold case for a final project. At first, just to case doubt on the original investigation, but soon she discovered a trail of dark secrets that might actually prove Sal's innocent, and the line between the past and present begins to blur. Someone in Fairview doesn't want Pip digging around for answers, and now her own life might be in danger. So not danger, but Pip she was like doing this as a class project, and I'm sorry if I'm stuttering, like I'm like very, very full on caffeine right now, so yeah. But like I said, Pip, I don't know if I mentioned that like before I read the back, but Pip is the one who's like doing this, and this was like a class project, but like I said in the back, she saw like something ain't right, you know, so that's why she did her own little investigation, and someone is after her. But this is a good book. I also gave this a 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, like I said, and I'm on the 3rd book. I'm just going to read this book starting tonight or tomorrow. So for February books, you will hear me talk about that. I heard that the first 2 are good, and then the last one, but I will give y'all my opinions. I will be true and honest about my opinions on each and every books, especially for future videos that are like this, well, like this but for a different month. I will give my true opinions, but I truly love this book because I love murder mysteries, and if you love murder mysteries, this book is for you, and maybe you should like read the whole series too. But for next book of the months that I read, bookly reads for February, I will be talking about the last book in this series. Now let's get on to the next book. So, and I just thought about it because a lot of the books that I have to read for the next video for February is going to be like from the library, so I have to like renew those books so I can do this video, but I will do what I gotta do, you know. Now this is the 2nd book out of the series. It's called Good Girl Bad Blood. So basically this is actually a podcast. So this book is all about how Pip started a podcast, but it's still basically talking about what happened to them and some other murder mysteries. Plus one of her friends went missing, but he was never killed. He actually just went on the trip at the end. Now, like I said, this is going to give some spoilers, you know. So basically on the back it says, Pip is not a detective anymore with the help of Robbie. So Robbie's actually a friend of hers. She released a true crime podcast about murder case they solved together last year. Though the podcast went viral, Pip insisted that her sleuthing days are behind her. But when someone she knows goes missing and the police won't do anything, Pip has no choice but to investigate. After all, Jamie Reynolds disappeared on the very same night the town hosted a memorial for the 60th anniversary of the deaths of Andy Bell and Sal Singh. It has to be more than a coincidence. Pip follows a trail of clues, uncovering more of her town dark secrets along the way. And this time everyone is listening. Will she find Jamie before it's too late? And yes, she does find Jamie, okay? And how I know, like, he literally, hold up. He literally was like visiting some family, and they had a funeral, another funeral for a friend who did pass away, and that kind of like made me cry. Like, someone died in this book and it made me cry. So yeah, but this is a good book. I do recommend reading the series, and yeah, and it's on my Goodreads. Now, the next book I have just finished reading is Think and Grow Rich. Now, before I get into this book, this is actually the original text from 1937. They actually have like 3 or 4 more like versions of this book, but this is the unedited 1937 text, which makes this book longer than the other versions that they have for this book. So like, I'm just letting you know that now. Like, if you don't believe me, it says like right there. Also, meaning it says unedited. It has some racist things in it because around 1937 segregation was big. But if you want to get into money, investing, building a brand, building a business, or growing your business, or changing your money habits, this book is for you. For someone who wants to change her money habits in the year 2024, I decided to read this book again. I read this book, hold on. I read this book back in 2020 or 2021. I don't remember, but it was between those 2 years. And I love this book, and I still learn things from this book. So what I love about this book is that in the pages, like, I don't know if you can see, but in the pages it has like little quotes before like every like chapter. So like, this is chapter 7, which is all about organized planning, and the quote is, "Success requires no explanation. Failure permits no alibis." Another quote that's like in this book, if I can like find one. Okay, here's one. I have to find another one. I'm sorry about that. So like, this is another quote that's on the page, but it says, "There's no limitations to the men except," let me reread it. So it says, "There are no limitations to the mind except those we acknowledge. Both poverty and riches are the offsprings of thoughts." But yes, I really like this book. Like I said, if you get this one, just beware. It does talk like about, you know, racism a little in the beginning, because like, that's how it was back in 1937. But if you want to learn how to budget your money, learn how to, you know, get rich, learn how to manage your business, this book is for you. And also, because it's not just grow rich, it's think and grow rich, to better your mindset as well. This book is for you. I have read this book not 5 times, I wish. Probably in a year or 2 I would like read this book 5 times, but so far I've read this 2 times, and I really like this book. So yeah, but the next book that I will be reviewing, which I know a lot of people have read this book. A lot of people have read basically all of these books, but I haven't seen this book on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, and let me tell you, I will never ever get tired reading this book. Now, if you have not read Atomic Habits, you should add it to your TBR list. We're only 2 months in of 2024. I'm gonna let you know, January was not my month, so I'm going to literally do a lot of changes into my habits, into my routines, to make the rest of this year my year. But Atomic Habits is all about how to make tiny changes into your life, how to make your life better for you, how to habit stack, how to actually set these habits and be consistent with it, because discipline is better than being motivated. A lot of people don't realize that, but if you really want to be motivated, you have to be disciplined, and if you want to be disciplined, you have to have habits. Now, like I said, I have read this book twice already, and I am planning to read it again maybe at the end of this year or mid-year. I don't know yet, but I have really like this book, especially now that I'm really implementing like both of these books into my life. So I'm implementing them to my life, and I have really actually started habit stacking, and I'm starting to use a to-do list more, and I'm also starting to use a planner more. So like earlier today, I've actually finished filling out my month of February in my planner, and that is like a habit that I'm doing every beginning or the end of a month, is to fill out a new month in my planner of the things that I have planned, and that is a habit that I am going to be consistent with. Another habit that I want to be consistent is always make my bed. I always do that, but to always keep my room clean, because lately I have been in a rut. I'm actually doing a video on me getting on a rut soon, probably this month or in March, but just me following up my habits that I did, I don't know, but all the habits that I have like, you know, stopped that because I have not been myself mentally. If you follow me on Instagram, I am a big mental health advocate, and I have mentioned a lot of my stories that I have not been myself mentally, and that is so true. That is not me saying like to be like, you know, want some type of clickbait, I don't know, attention, that's the word, me saying that for attention. No, I really have not been myself mentally, and I have not been myself mentally when it like snowed but stopped snowing, and since I started college this semester. So I have not been myself mentally, meaning I have not been doing my habits that I have done to be myself mentally. But because of this book, I also use a habit tracker. I have a habit tracker. If you want to use a habit tracker, I will put the habit tracker in the description box down below. I was like, what the heck I was about to say, but no, I also have a habit tracker, and I started making a habit tracker and using a habit tracker because of this book. So if you want to turn your life around, read this book. And like I said, I have read this book twice, and it's a very popular read. So yeah, and again, I have given this book 5 out of 5. 5. So my camera stopped, but like I was saying, I gave this book a 5 out of 5 on Goodreads. And if you want to like start doing habits, especially if you're in a rut, this book is for you. Like I said before my camera stopped, I started using a habit tracker because of this book, and I feel like everyone should have this in their bookshelf or in their Kindle, or even have this in an audiobook. Like, this is a good book. If I have to recommend all this, not all these books, but all the self-help books that I have read in my lifetime, because I used to just read all self-help books, I recommend this one. And the reason why I say that, because we are human and we can have a habit and we can do good at this habit, right? And then we fall out. We are not ourselves mentally, or someone is getting into our head. When you're doing good for yourself, people can see that as a threat. So you can do all these good habits for yourself, and then someone can see how that's making you feel in a positive way, and they hate that, and then they can say something negative to get into your head, and then you can stop doing that habit and you're falling out that habit. And yeah, but read this book. And I don't think I have highlighted I think I did highlight something in this book. I don't remember, but I can read you like what the chapter is about. So the fundamentals, which is chapter 1 through 3, is chapter 1. So the fundamentals is basically tiny changes can make a big difference into your life. So chapter 1 is the surprising power of atomic habits. Chapter 2, how your habits shape your identity, and vice versa. So this really talks about not just the good habits, but also vice versa, the bad habits. And chapter 3 is how to build better habits in 4 simple steps. So the first law is make it obvious. So chapter 4 is the man who didn't look right. Chapter 5 is the best way to start a new habit. Chapter 6 is motivation is overrated. Environment often matters more. And this is so freaking true. That is so true, that environment often matters more. And for someone, you know, who watch a lot of like motivational content, you want to surround yourself in a positive circle and with positive people, and you want to be around positive people. You want to be in a positive environment. So like sometimes if I can't focus, I like to like go to the library and just do homework because it's a positive, quiet environment. There's a lot of other things I really want to say about this chapter, but that'll be a whole nother video one day. And then chapter 7 is the secret to self-control. Then the second law is make it attractive. Chapter 8 is how to make a habit irresistible. Chapter 9 is the role of family and friends is in shaping your habits, which is so true. Whoever you look up to you, if they're doing something, you're going to do it. If they're doing a bad habit, you're going to do that bad habit. If they're doing a good habit, you're going to do that good habit. And I'm not going to say like this don't affect me. It affects me a lot. And that chapter 9, which is in the second law, is so true. Chapter 10 is how to find and fix the cause of your bad habits. Basically identifying your bad habits and asking yourself, how can I make this a good habit for myself, and how can I stop doing this bad habit? The third law is make it easy. Walk slowly but never backwards, meaning taking small steps to get to this habit, to make it a habit, but don't go backwards. Chapter 12 is the law of less effort. Chapter 13 is how to stop procrastinating by using the 2-minute rule. This, I feel like a lot of people should read that chapter, because I feel like a lot of people are procrastinators or have procrastinated some point in their life, so they're a victim of procrastination. Chapter 14 is how to make good habits inevitable and bad habits impossible. And then the fourth law is make it satisfying. So the cardinal rule of behavior change. So basically how this habit is going to change your behavior, but in a positive way. Chapter 16 is how to stick with good habits every single day. Just know it takes a month for a habit to stick. And chapter 17, how an accountable partner can change everything. And this, I feel like that is something that I'm so glad that I have now. I am part of this community. If y'all not probably like see my morning routines or have heard me talk about it on my channel or on my podcast, I'm part of this wellness community called the Morning Club. I have to like think, I'm like so tired, but I'm part of this wellness community called morning club, and we have just gotten accountable partners for each other, and I really like that we have that to help us just, you know, stay focused and to just, you know, keep going towards our goals, because we do have those days that we don't want to do our goals, that we don't want to work towards our goals no matter what. And like I said, in January wasn't really my month at all. I wanted to fucking give up, but I didn't. So yeah. And then the last part of this book, the last 3 chapters, so this topic is about advanced tactics, so how to go from being really good to being truly great. So chapter 18 is the truth about talent, when genes matter and when they don't. Chapter 19 is the Goldilocks rule, how to stay motivated in life and work. And then chapter 20, which is the last chapter of this book, is the downside of creating good habits, because there's always a negative thing about everything, even when it has a positive impact into your life. So if you want to create good habits in your life, if you want to change your life around and make a whole 360 this month, I recommend reading them. Hi besties, so that is it for today's video. I really hope that you like this video, and like I said, I'll be doing this type of video every single month, so stay tuned. It might be the end of the month, or it might be the beginning of the next month for the last month, so just know I'll be doing this video every single month. And if any of these books that I have mentioned and you have read, please let me know. But if you have not read them, please add them to your TBR list right now. They're good books. I would not recommend these books if they weren't good books. To be honest, if it's not a good book, I probably wouldn't finish. There's actually one book that I read last year and I didn't really like it, so I kind of like finished hurrying up and reading it so I can turn it back in, because I just didn't really like how it ends. But I hope that you like this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, besties. I have surpassed 910 subscribers. I'm at 915, so I'm so happy, and I just want to say thank you. I actually am going to post this video, like I said in the beginning, tomorrow, so stay tuned for this video. And then I have a college vlog for Sunday. It was going to be first, but I still gotta edit, and this video is something that can be quick and easy to edit than a whole freaking college vlog. So yeah, but if you also like to read and you want to read Red, White, and Royal Blue, or if you have already read it and you want to reread it, please download the app Fable and join the book club. I was like, what am I supposed to say? But join the book club. And I'm planning to actually change that date from February 4th to that Sunday of Valentine's Day. So yeah, so if you want to join my book club, go download the app. The app will be in the description box down below, and my Goodreads will also be in the description box down below. So let's be friends on there, and let me know what is your goal of how many books you want to read this year. I want to read 100 books, and I am dedicated to read 100 books this year, okay? I'll let you know when I'm like at that halfway mark. But I love you guys, and remember to always go after your goals no matter what, and I'll see you on the next video.